Pluto and Aquarius.
Testing. Okay. Jehovah, thank you again for this opportunity to try to shine and spread the light of your word, your knowledge, previously hidden from all mankind. Jehovah, I ask that you help me to be a witness to redeem the time while I'm in this reality, that you give me wisdom for the video to share with brethren and to strengthen brethren and to endure the present darkness. Jehovah, please pray for my brethren, their strength, that they may bear much fruit, and that we can strengthen our foundation because the days are evil. Light has been darkened, and there is a great affliction in the land, overseas, and the world today, Jehovah. And so I just ask that you help me to be a light to the best of my ability while I'm on the red star, which is the earth. Jehovah, thank you in your name. So let it be. All right. Brethren, thank you for joining me. My name is Jaqual Ben Yisrael. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I like to try to be a witness to the Creator, to the revelation that he has given us, the OAHSPE guidebook, the latest revelation from the Creator to man, because the time has come. We are in the Cosmic era, a new period of time where the time has come for the end of the kingdom of men and the imbalances in the world today. It's time for all that to come to an end, because we look at it, we see the history, the fruit of the rulership of religion, of false gods, of governments. The Creator, he let this go on for a while. He let religion go on for a while. He let governments go on for a while. He let all things go on for a while to help to prove that in and of ourselves that we cannot govern ourselves. And unless the Creator intervenes, we cannot find the light. We cannot find the understanding of the spiritual. If we are left to our own devices, we see the fruit of our doings by just looking at the world. We haven't changed. We still shed blood. We still have people sociologically with problems, get homelessness and disease and despair and imbalances. And the Creator, he allowed that. We had division, we have fightings and warrings. Even though we have had different religions, which pretty much espouse the same things: unity, love, fruits of the spirit and all that. But it's been without power. And the Creator, he let it go on all the way up until now. Now, before I begin, I want to introduce anyone to this channel who is not familiar with this channel. The newest revelation from the Creator is this book that you see on the screen. It's called the OAHSPE Bible or guidebook, whatever you will. And this is the newest revelation from the Creator. And there is a supplement that a group called the Unknown Many have put out. There's a supplement that the Unknown Many have put out. Now, let me make sure that the OAHSPE, I thought I had the OAHSPE showing on the screen. The OAHSPE is a big encyclopedia looking book. You should see it on the screen. Or nope, not on the screen yet. Hold on. I want to, I'm trying to bring up the OAHSPE itself. Okay. Should see it on the screen. I don't know what's showing on the screen. But anyway, it's a big encyclopedia looking book. And the Unknown Many have put out a supplement, which I'm trying to show. Oh, sorry about that. I'm having some problems here. Okay, now we're set. All right. So anyway, the Unknown Many have put out this series of books right here. And it's a supplement to try to spark interest in the OAHSPE itself. The OAHSPE is a new revelation from the Creator. And the books here, the 6-volume set, is a supplement to help to spark interest in the knowledge of the OAHSPE. Is compiled by way of subject matter, different verses, subject matter, that sort of thing, to help whoever is new to this revelation, to help them to hopefully spark their interest in what the Creator has to say. Now, title of the video today is Bible Interpretation Through the Lens of the Creator. And I'm going to be sharing some recent revelation that I believe the Creator has given me that should be a blessing. Hopefully it'll bless. The revelation is how to read the OAHSPE. I mean, how to read the Bible from the standpoint, from the lens of the OAHSPE. Now, before I get into that, I want to touch a little bit on what's going on in the world today, because this is super important, man. This is super important. I've been touching on it a couple of times. This right here is super important, man. I cannot emphasize that enough. Pluto going into Aquarius. Now, it's a crying shame, man, that there's no real interest in this. There's no real interest in this, and this is what's going on in the world today. Pluto into Aquarius. I've been speaking on it a few times in previous videos. And this is a good example right here of how the Creator There's a verse in the Bible where it says the disciples, they asked the Jesus of the New Testament, how will you manifest yourself to us and not to the world? How will you manifest yourself to us and not to the world? And do you know that what's going on right now in our reality is a good example of how the Creator, he can manifest himself to the faithists and not to the world. The Creator can move on the world and the world not even know. What do I mean? This right here, Pluto going into Aquarius. If you study it, you'll see that historically, when this event right here happens, and it only happens like every 240 years, when this event right here happens, the changes are profound, very, very profound. And really, it's the Creator moving among men, and they don't know it, because the program of the Creator, whom the world calls God, but the Creator creates gods. The program of the Creator is for men to basically grow up just like in life. You have people, they are, we start out, we're the embryo, we're born, and infants and children, then pre-adolescence and adolescence, and then young, teenager, young adult, senior citizen, progression of life. That's the Creator's whole plan in a nutshell right there. That's his whole plan, is for us to grow up eventually to become gods and goddesses. That's the whole big picture. That's the big picture right there. That's the big picture right there. Our evolution. And if you consider, you are not the same person that you were even a few years ago. You change, we evolve. Pluto going into Aquarius is another example of that truth. It represents a stage. When you read the OAHSPE, it talks about arc cycles, Danha periods. It talks about AG, times of darkness falling, and Gia. And these are all entities that are a part of our reality as we grow and evolve. Our minds, our spirits, as they grow and evolve. So we're in a situation right now. We're at that part of the Creator's program where we're in the Cosmic era, meaning we've been through previous cycles meant to help us in our growth. We're at a point now, we know about spirituality. We've heard about it for thousands of years. We know that the time that we are in right now is not all that there is. We know that we come, we go, other people come after us now. We ought to know by now. That's what the Cosmic era is. That's what it's all about. So we're at a point right now, since we know these things, now we're ready for another stage of our development. And that is to take what we know, combine it with our spiritual understanding, our spirit, our knowledge, our enlightenment, combine the two so that we can be balanced spiritually. We can be balanced carnally. In other words, we can live on the earth according to the spiritual understanding. We can combine the two for the betterment of the world that we live in. The Cosmon era, Kosmon, a new 3,000 year period of time where ultimately the kingdom of the Creator must come on the earth. Now, Pluto going into Aquarius, it plays out in a change, a shift. It plays out in a change of our reality. Like, if you study it again historically, you will see that the last time Pluto made an entrance into Aquarius, an entrance into Aquarius, the French Revolution happened. Let's read. Let me see if I can read. When you study the history of Pluto going into Aquarius, you see the effects of it. I'm going to jump down here and I want to show what happens when Pluto goes into Aquarius. It says the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, it coincided with the American, the French, the Haitian revolutions, as well as the Industrial Revolution. This suggests that the current era will feature the time that we're in right now, because Pluto has gone into Aquarius. This suggests that the current era will feature major political upheavals and the dismantling of long-standing old regime power structures. Now, this is an amazing thing, isn't it? Is this not the most amazing thing? Because really, everybody wants to know what's going on. People want to know about prophecy. They want to know what's going on, what's going to happen next. And anybody who comes along, they say this thing, Christ's going to return, and everybody jumps on that. They want to know about it. They look at it, and then nothing happens. And then, it continues on and on. But here, what's going on right now is something that is provable, that we are in a period of time. We've witnessed the changes that have taken place largely because of what Pluto did the last time it showed up. The American, the French, the Haitian revolutions happened. The Industrial Revolution, the advent of machinery to make men's working life easier, that was probably the biggest effect of the last time Pluto went into Aquarius. The Creator, when you understand the Creator, the OAHSPE, the Creator, his agenda is to make men's reality easier, not harder, to grow up, to mature. And when you do that, it's symbolic of making our reality easier. The kingdom of the Creator, when it comes on the earth, is going to be far better and greater than what we have known. Far better. See, that's one thing that makes it hard to be a faithist, man. In this world, we bring a message, man, where everybody wants what we are talking about. It's like you read in the OAHSPE, men, they want the fruit of the OAHSPE. They do not want to labor for it. So I say to you, faithists, man. I'm gonna be reading some things according to my new understanding of how to approach the Bible. And I hope I can say some things that knock you brothers out, man. I'm really rooting for the Creator to help me, man. I believe that, I'm coming upon something, and I'm only going to get better to share things with you, man, that hopefully it will really it will thrill your soul. That's my whole agenda, man. because we have an inner light in us. I'm telling you, man, today, it's like a couple of times a week, I have home care come by. They do my bandaging. I'm a disabled brother. They do my bandaging and they tighten me up and then they leave. Now, the last company, home care company, I had to go ahead and let them go because I thought that I was making some good ground with the last home care company. They sent 3 nurses out. These were nurses that were coming by regularly. I have a point. You'll see. And one nurse, I thought, man, we going pretty good. She let me talk to her. She seemed, now I didn't bring it up because my game plan is I let people bring up spiritual things, then I jump on them. So she brought it up. And so I started throwing out little pieces of bait to see if she would bite. And she bit, started asking questions. Now, to make a long story short, come to find out, she couldn't stand that I was talking about spiritual things. She couldn't stand it, man. And she stopped coming by. Somebody else came by. I said, "Where's Amanda?" She said, "She don't want to come by here anymore." I said, "What? Why?" She said, she didn't know. But I knew she really didn't like talking about spiritual things. See, people are like that. That's why you got to be careful. They'll act like, they'll make you think like, because see, people love to talk about, you ask, are you spiritual? You believe in God and all this and that? And they say, yeah, they like to, but then when you open your mouth and start talking, see, it's a different story now, ain't it? Because we live in a world, they don't like you knowing more than they do. They don't like that. And they never heard of a brother or sister who wanted to go well with you for real. How the OAHSPE, it called us to serve brethren. It called us to be selfless. It called us to see to it that we resurrect our brethren. And not only the Creator, he ain't just saying that. This word, it should make you happy enough. You ain't got to be told to try to lift your brother up, man. You should not have, if you were faithless, if you have to be told, you have to be prodded, to seek the welfare of your brethren. I think something wrong with that. I think something is wrong with that. The Creator is able to give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that will thrill your soul, man. I mean, when you see that you get freed from bondage, which is religion, man, I don't believe in the Holy Ghost, but I got the Holy Ghost, man. That means I freaked out, man. I jumped and shouted in my spirit when I got freed from religion. You know how you let a dog outside of the house and he start wagging his tail? He started running in 1,000 different directions all at once. That's how I was when I got freed from religion. And I can't imagine it ain't the same for every brother or sister. I just can't. I could be wrong, man. But why don't you try getting sent to prison, man? Why don't y'all go ahead and get sent up? Get yourself a 30-year bid, You know what I mean? And then watch what'll happen to your soul, your spirit when you get out of prison. You know what I mean? That's what the Creator has done for Faithus. That's what the Creator has done for Faithus, man. And we can't even share it with nobody. We can't relate it to anyone. There's a Bible verse where it says the heart knows its own joy, and something like it cannot share it with anybody else. It knows its own joy. And when you have this type of joy, when you have this type of thrill, there ain't nothing that can happen to take it away from you. There ain't nothing the world can do to take it away from you. You gonna make the resurrection. If somebody is listening to me or any other faithist, you gonna make the resurrection. Because there ain't nothing better than this word. There is nothing better. It's the only hope for mankind. And so let me get back. I was talking about Pluto is, if you want proof that the creator is moving, again, look at Pluto going into Aquarius. Look at Pluto going into Aquarius. I'm scrolling the screen here. I'm not really talking about the astrological aspect of it. I'm talking more about the historical context of what has happened when this conjunction has taken place. Because see, change, we're in the era of change right now. Now, primarily the situation in the Middle East, is that's a catalyst. That is some type of catalyst. See, the world, people don't learn until you touch them. You got to touch people first. You got to touch, just like the situation over, give you an example. It's done caused gas prices to go up. People immediately notice that. But another thing too, prices across the board go up. It ain't got to a point where people start to really, really feel it. You know what I mean? See, this is how change happened, you know. This is how change, it happens subtly, slowly, you know. It happens subtly, slowly. You know, see, the creator, people expect him to come on the scene with a loud, you know, a big thunderclap. That's how most people miss the light. I'm telling you, man, many people are going to miss the light, miss the resurrection while on the red star. Most people are not going to make the resurrection and don't care. Now, again, when I say that, I don't want to sound like gloom and doom, because the consequence of missing the resurrection is going into the spiritual realm in ignorance and being able to be taken advantage of. Now, again, that don't mean nothing to this reality, this world. You know, people, it ain't no thing to them until it happens. And then you see, until your faith turns to sight, man, the things that I'm talking about here on this channel. But let me get into the title, okay? I'm sorry let me get into the title, man, you know? And I got a lot of things I want to share. Hopefully I can speed it up a little bit. Now, recently, the creator, he basically impressed upon me, read the Bible metaphysically, metaphorically, and a whole new world will open up. A whole new world will open up, man. You'll see yourself. And you, brethren, we need all the encouragement we can get, man. Faithist brethren. Now, I'm going to share this. I'm going to do the best I can to try to bless you, brethren, with my new understanding. Bible interpretation through the lens of the creator, man. I'm going to do my level best. And I hope the creator help me, because you're going to love it, man. You're going to love it, man. And I got a lot to read. I got too much on my plate to share with y'all. Believe me, I got too much on my plate, man. I got stuff from Radiance Anthology. I got stuff from the OAHSPE. I got stuff just from understanding the creator is, you know, man, I got a lot. I got too much, man, but I don't want to rush it. Now, I want to turn your attention to Revelation. I want to turn your attention to Revelation, man, you know? And I'm going to read it metaphorically, metaphysically, through the lens of the OAHSPE and the creator. And it just go to show you that They compiled this, false gods, and the creator, he can still use it. He can still use it to bless faithists in their understanding. Now, when you read metaphysically, you're what you're doing is basically replacing terms. Now, some people might not buy it, but that's cool. Nothing you can do about that, you know. The way the OAHSPE is framed in such a way that you could take any spiritual work and you can replace it with the understanding the creator gives you simply by taking the terms, the symbols that religious works, books, and just translate it to what the OAHSPE would translate it to. Let me give you an example. Here, Revelation 20, right? Everybody knows about this. Now, since I said what I said, I really don't even need to read this to y'all. See, that's how the creator makes everything so simple. I really don't even need to read this now, because now y'all got the principle. You got it. You got it. And you know something easier? Now, if I wanted to, I could go to AI and say, what does this mean according to the OAHSPE? See, if you want to really see, we need to be fed every day, man. Faithists, we need to be fed, man. And I ain't hardly BSing you. We need somebody, man, to get up there and tell us to keep going. I mean, we need that encouragement, man. You see what I'm saying? So now I already gave you the principle. You can go to AI right now, open the Bible and say, what does this verse mean according to the OAHSPE? And a whole new world opens up to you. A whole new world. See? If you sincere and a faithist, it's up to you, man. It's up to you, man. You know, all the encouragement that you want, that you need. See, look, okay, let's read together, right? Now check it out. Now I'm gonna read it from a faithist lens. I might make some mistakes, but you're gonna get what the Spirit is saying. Okay. Now check it out. In Revelation chapter 20, it says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Now, I would ask you, what do you think it means? What do you think? Oh, shoot, man. You know what? I forgot to put the link in the chat so that if you want to come on, so let me put the link in the chat. And then, because I'm going to be asking questions. I'm going to be asking questions. And hey, how y'all doing? Asenath and Keon Cooper, otherwise known as Tabitha. It's good to see y'all. Thanks for joining me, man. So I'm going to be asking questions, and if you want to come on, just click on the link. You want to give your understanding. You're going to catch on to where I'm going, okay? And I think it's going to be legit how I'm going to read this. I think it's going to be legit for us. I think it's going to be, you're going to agree that the way I'm going to read this, it's going to be legit. Now, Revelation chapter 19, it says after oh, wait a minute. What did I do? I clicked off of it. I did something. You know, my computer is known for doing stuff like that too. I clicked off of what? I was somewhere else. Okay, yeah, see, I clicked off of that. And I saw an angel come down from heaven having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Now, when you read this, this is telling you that a time of darkness has been broken. Okay. Now, you can use your own, you know what I mean? You can use your own understanding, and you can see how the Creator is talking to us even through the Bible. He talking to us even through the Bible. We see an angel, and we read the OAHSPE. There are many Etherians that from time to time they come down in the different cycles, you know, Fragapati, Thor, Apollo, Satantes, you know, Serpenta Armage, angel coming down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand, meaning he binds the darkness for a while. He binds it. He lays hold on the dragon, which is the darkness, you could say, the false gods, you could say, you know, false gods, false lords, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Now, it's not talking literally, but in our day, if you translated this to our day and age, you know, being in the cosmic era, we know that we're in a time where the binding of the darkness, because the light is going to increase, that this 1,000 years represents a long period of time where the light is going to be exposed all over the earth. The angel comes and it casts the Satan, which is the darkness, which is the, you know how the Bible talks about the, you know, the sun, it grows dim and the moon shall not give her light. That's basically talking about the light, the Etherian light, the like the OAHSPE in our day being blocked. The forces, the false gods, the lords that block the light from the minds, the understanding of men. It says this angel, you could say the Etherians, they come down, they grab hold of the false gods, they shut them up, they put a seal upon them so you can know them. You read the OAHSPE, we know that Satan is us, the Satan within us. It explains why we do things, why we give in. We do, like you read accounts, you read the news, you see Satan is strong in people. You know, I saw a video, it came across my link. Some young chick, she lured her boyfriend into a trap. She lured him into a trap and he got killed. She lured him to his death. And if you look at the thumbnail, she was sitting up there smiling. You know, it's only the Satan in her. And some people, Satan is very strong, man. You know what I mean? And some people, Satan is very strong. We would not have known that if the Creator hadn't have told us what the reason why people do stuff like that is Satan in them. Verse 3, the Etherians, they come down, they cast that darkness, the ignorance of men. For a time, they cast it into the bottomless pit. Historically, that's true for the OAHSPE. They set a seal upon that Satan, which is the knowledge they give us. See, we know now what's going on in people. When people give in to lawlessness, you know what I mean? They give in to the tetracts. When I talk about the tetracts, I should show on the screen what the tetracts are for learning's sake. I should always have it on the screen so that you can know what I'm talking about. the Tetracts and the OAHSPE guidebook. So just bear with me. I'm getting ready to bring it up. We wouldn't have known about this if the Creator hadn't told us in the OAHSPE. See, we would not know these things, man. You know what I mean? Look here. Look at what the Tetracts are. Hope you can see that. I'm not looking at the room. See that? That's the Tetracts right there that all of us have to some degree or another. The flesh, sensuality, carnal desires, gluttony. These are the Tetracts, man. The joking evil. Avoiding truth. Look at that. The Tetracts, worthlessness, hypocrisy, laziness, degeneracy, Belial, vanity, self-conceit, See, these are what we call to fight against, because this is in us. Ash, delight in destruction. See, do you know that that's a heavy Tetract in the world today? That is a heavy Tetract. People, the war that's going on. Do you know a lot of people, they love it. Talking about the destruction, they talk about it like it ain't nothing, man. The evil, the bombing that's going, they talk about the power of the bombs, you know, the destruction that's going on. They don't know that's a Tetract you got in you. You delight in that stuff, man. Satan, desire for leadership. There's another heavy one. You see? We wouldn't have known about this if the light hadn't come down and told us. You know? The 7 Tetracts are described as inheritances of all mortals. This is in us. We got to fight this stuff. That's what we got to fight. It's in us, man. How did the Creator do it? How do we let us fight, man? He let the Ethereans come and cast that Satan into the bottomless pit and shut him up, meaning he give us knowledge. He set a seal upon what evil is for periods of time. Now I done flipped off of it again. What have I done here? What is going on? Let me get back to where I was. Cast him into the bottomless pit. The truth. I mean, the ignorance. The darkness. It gets cast into a bottomless pit. You know, the arc cycles, the Danha periods of the OAHSPE. See, this is cyclical. This is cyclical. See, this is revelation. And then verse 4, it says, I saw thrones and they that sat upon them. Judgment was given unto them. Who is them? And I saw thrones. What are these thrones? These thrones are talking about Ethereans. Because you read the OAHSPE, you see where it talks about councils and, you know, Serpenta Armage sat on the throne, and then she got up off of the throne, and Fragapati came, and, you know, she, you know, at the chains of the gods in the OAHSPE, they would get up off of the throne, and then they would go and kneel before the throne to show their humility, and the replacement Etherean god would sit on the throne, and then he would say to the departing god something like, come honor my throne. And then the departing god would get up and go and sit next to the replacement Etherean for the next arc cycle. So here in Revelation, it says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. Now, when you read the OAHSPE, the world like to think, the electric chair, when they talk about judgment, the world they like to put that vibration on everything. But it says here, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given to them. And really, from the OAHSPE standpoint, it's talk. You could certainly reason that when the times of light come. So this is cyclical in nature. The whole chapter here, you could do it. You could use it either way you want. You could use it for historical purposes, or you could use it for contemporary purposes. Now, what if I read this contemporaneously? What if I read it with modern day understanding? Let's say, okay, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them. Judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark on their foreheads or in their hands. And he lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. Now, you brethren, you could see the faithless meaning in this verse here, can't you? You can see it easily. I don't even need to say anything. See, that's how we can read the whole Bible. See, I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, the Ethereans, the succeeding arc cycle gods, and judgment was given to them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded. You could say that's talking about the lawgivers, Moses, Capelia, Poe, Chinea, Abraham, You could say it about faithists, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded. Now, see, again, the world, you look at the world, they got this picture of people getting their heads sliced off, and that did happen, I imagine, historically, but metaphysically, that happens to creators. Why don't you go and try to talk to somebody and tell them that you pray to a man sitting on a throne? Watch what will happen to you. You see what I mean? You will get beheaded. You wouldn't know it looking at me. The head you see on my shoulders, it's about my 50th head. It's been chopped. My head has been chopped off. You wouldn't know it about 50 times. Tomorrow it'll be the 51st when somebody else get a hold of me. My own family is chopped off my head. You brethren too. Beheaded for the witness of the Creator and for the OAHSPE, which had not worshipped religion, the beast kingdom, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, meaning your willpower, or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years, meaning that's the future coming for faithists. See, you faithists are going to reign with the Creator. Now, people say, they think that we're going to, for 1,000 years, we're going to thump on our enemies. We're going to serve our enemies. We're going to serve our enemies, man. Faithists, you see the Ethereans, you see we're called to you. That's one thing, man, about the Creator. You cannot, never anywhere, man, it's always all good. The world make it out like the beast kingdom principle is to pay people back. You know what I mean? The beast kingdom principle is to pay people back. The rest of the dead, they live not again till the 1,000 years are finished. This is the first resurrection. Now check this out. This is true. When people don't make the resurrection, when you go into the 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 first resurrection. Now, I have to be careful saying the first resurrection because there's a first resurrection for the righteous and the wicked. The second resurrection is the harvest. The third resurrection is the harvest. When it says the rest of the dead live not again until 1,000 years, that's true. Spiritually, according to the OAHSPE, did y'all know that's true? That's true. You know it's true, right? See, even though false gods, they compiled the Old and the New Testament, they had to give us some truth in order to hook people. There's got to be some truth to it, spiritually, corporally. But the rest of the dead, they live not again till 1,000 years. And you, brother, know what the OAHSPE say, right? Remember that verse I always talk about? See, okay, I have to show you, man. I'm sorry, man. I got to show you that verse, man. The Creator says you're going to have to do without money the things you could have done with money. Y'all remember that? You know what I think that means? When you don't want to, you know what? In a nutshell, you make it harder on yourself. You make it harder and it takes a longer time. Just in a nutshell, man. In a nutshell, I'm bringing up that verse. In a nutshell, man. See, this is why faith is, man, we should jump and shout, man, in our spirit. Even though life, it get hard, It get hard on you. That's you getting tested. We know that, The Creator, now you should be able to see the screen. Check this out. Hear then the judgment of your God. For it is that which you shall put upon yourself after your entrance into the spirit world, which is that you shall be bound in heaven. That's the first resurrection. You're going to be bound in heaven till you accomplish what you might have done but failed to do. Now, I could be wrong, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I read this, and to me, it sounds like it's saying it's going to be tougher for you to come to the light then than it is now. It's going to be tougher, man, because you're going to be locked into your consciousness. And this is the penalty for neglecting on earth to fulfill the light that was given to you. You shall in heaven accomplish, without money, what you could have done with money. Now, let me be kooky for 1 second and try to give an example. Why don't you go into Denny's or IHOP? You know where I'm going? I don't even need to finish the story. You know what I mean? And you dine and dash. See? But the problem is they catch you. Now, you're going to do without money what would have been easier if you just paid for the meal and walked out. You know what I mean? Same way spiritually, man. You're going to be bussing tables. Now, the cop is going to say, hey, man, look, we ain't gonna jam you up, okay? But you got to pay the debt. We're going to let the owner decide what you got to do. The owner said, well, the meal costs $30. And so here, I pay people $1 an hour. That's 30 hours, man, before you pay for that meal. Now, I'm being kooky, but I want you to get the point that I'm trying to make. You know what I mean? You can make that analogy. The Creator is saying, It's going to take long. It's somehow, man, just the spirit of this verse is telling you that it's going to be rougher. This is the penalty, man, for neglecting on earth to fulfill the light that was given to you. You shall in heaven accomplish without money what you could have done with money. And the difference it requires to do a thing without means as compared to what might be done by one with means is the extra bondage and duration that shall be upon your soul. You see? Now we go back to Revelation. The rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. That's true. That's right. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. Now, you brother know what that means, right? From an OAHSPE standpoint, you know what that means. On such, the second death hath no power. They shall be priests of God and of Christ, which is, you could say, the Creator, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. See? Now, I'm not stretching the scripture. You can't accuse me of stretching the scripture. From an OAHSPE standpoint, you can't accuse me, man. You know, telling you, man, it's an incredible thing, man, that the Creator is showing you that the Bible is not his word. It's only a partial revelation, but he can still use it to bless your soul, man. See? And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Now, you can look at that historically and see that it's talking about the end of an arc cycle or a time when AG or Gia is falling. Those are dark periods when the light is hard to see. Like right now, we may be going through a time of AG or Gia right this second. I don't know. I did find that map too, where it shows the light increasing. I say that the moon might not be giving its light for a period of time right now. And the sun, like, you know, in Revelation where it says the sun, it says the moon shall not give its light. Let's look at it. It says the moon, let me see. This is not it, but this is another verse I was going to share. Look at this. They heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in the cloud, and their enemies beheld them. I don't even have to expound on that, do I? Y'all can see, based on the principles I'm sharing right now y'all can see what this is saying. Now, I was looking for that verse where it says, the sun shall not give its light, and the moon shall be darkened, or something like that. You see, I don't really even have to go any further. I can close the video right now, and y'all got the understanding. See, now you got it. Now you can go all over the whole Bible. I can go to Old Testament. I can go to that hard to understand language now and make sense of it. Now you can too. See, all y'all got the principle now. The Creator is showing, this is what the Creator is showing us that he's not showing the world now. Let me find that verse where it says the sun shall not give it. What is it? The sun shall not give its light, and the moon shall not give its light, and stars shall fall from heaven. King James Version. Right? Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember that. Let me hold on a second. See? Now you can read anything now. You see that? All y'all. See? Immediately after the tribulation of those days, now I should go and read it. See, I can get lost now from my point because now I can get going all over the place. I can go all over the place. Now, see, when you're talking about spirituality, it's a progression, man. You know, I started out as a Pentecostal, and then I was You know what I mean? The progression. And then I was a Calvinist Christian, you know, and then I was another type of Christian, and then I was a Hebrew Israelite, you know, and then I got off into the Third Testament. You see what I mean? It's a journey I had to go through. For me, it's just like life, man. You know, you go to elementary school, you know what I mean? And then you go to junior high. You know, it should make sense, man. It's the same way spiritually. It's the same way in the OAHSPE, man. The creator is showing you how he created us from zero. Remember? An entity. He created us a zero entity, meaning we're a blank slate. And you come into the world and immediately, man, you at a disadvantage because of the ways of the world. You in a disadvantage because of the darkness, the ways of the world, you know. Same way with the OAHSPE, man. We start behind the 8 ball. We start behind the 8 ball, man. You know. Immediately after, see, now we have to evolve. The creator, he evolved us. You know, I mean, the OAHSPE, if you read about how, you know, like the arc cycle of Apollo, where he beautified men, and then men got vain in their minds, and they ended up swinging all the way to the love of beauty to the point they were killing their children. Started killing their children. And the effects of Apollo is here in the world today. Beauty take precedence sometimes over, what's a good word for, more solid characteristics. You know what I mean? You know, a woman, she built a certain way, and that's the requirement for a relationship. You know what I mean? A man, he make a lot of money, and that's a requirement for a relationship. You know, vanity, materialism, you know. And then the next arc cycle, who was it? Thor, he had to come along and, you know, look, man, don't be vain like that. You know, come back to the worship of Jehovah. Here, look at the cosmic stars and everything. You know, look how they situated, man. Look how they move. This is how you do it. They say, oh, all right. Wow, that's great. And then men became atheists, you know. You know, that's what it is, man. A constant progression. It's a constant progression. If you stagnate, you in this day and age, men are stagnant because they're religious. They're religious. You can't talk to you. They will not break from that deity. They will not break. Men won't break from that deity. They will not let it go, man, because that deity is too good. You know, you mean that I can do anything I want to and I can charge it to his credit card? Hey, man, I'm a Christian then. And there ain't no evolution, there ain't no evolving, you cannot make the resurrection, man. I ain't trying to be harsh. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Now, y'all can use your own understanding now and see what that's saying. And from the standpoint of the OAHSPE, it's talking about a time of Ag or Gia, and what happens. Understanding is removed. Knowledge is removed. Ignorance replaces the light that used to be there. You see, the Creator, when the sun becomes dark and the light of the knowledge of his word, you know, the sun is dark and the moon doesn't give us light. He's talking about a period of Ag and Gia, and that happens at different times during an Etherian arc cycle. You see what I mean? You can read the Bible and see where it's talking to you. You know? You can read all over. See, all things are written for our learning, man. Just like it said in the Bible, for our learning and hopes, because you, brethren, you up against some powerful forces. You know? Check it out. Where you see how not many among you are mighty, not many are called, not many are chosen. I'm trying to quote the verse. I can't remember the verse. Check this out. The Bible talking to Faithus. It's talking to you, man. You know, where you see your calling, brethren. How that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. Check it out. For God has chosen the foolish things of the world. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But if you want to say foolish in the sense of out of the ordinary, I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you. For the Creator, I'll even say the Creator. Now, what happened? The Creator, let's go back. For the Creator, check it out. But the Creator has chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. See that? The Creator, or you could say, well, I'd like to say the Creator. You know what I mean? The Creator has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the wise, to confound the things which are mighty. And, you know, a faith that is called to be non-resistant. Now, in the world, that is weakness, man. And that also tempts the world to take what you got. And base things of the world, things which are despised, has the Creator chosen. Yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught the things that are. That no flesh should glory in his presence. Yeah, that's true. We're not called to bring glory and attention to ourselves. So we can read all over the place, man. Now I'm back at Revelation. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Now we approaching the time of darkness. What happens? When Satan is loose, what happens? He goes out to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth. To do what? Gather them to battle. Contemporaneously, you can see this right now. This going on right now. See? And you know the seriousness of it? We in the cosmic era. Something momentous is going on right now. And I know, I hope I'm wrong. I keep up. I look with intent upon what's going on in our world. I know it's changing. And I'm going to tell you brethren, something, man. I think that our thoughts are going to turn to provision. Somehow, I think our desires are going to turn to being provided for, to being sustained. Now, I could be wrong, man, and I hope I am in a sense, because the world is being brought to a place. The situation over there in the Middle East is very perilous. It's very, very perilous. Now, again, man, I ain't trying to fearmonger nobody. And I hope that we don't get really put to the test, man. You know what I mean? Our faith. We could. I hope not. I know that we in a situation. I know that Israel is getting bombed to hell. Iran, they sitting up there saying, hey, man, look, you know what? We are not negotiating. We tried it twice with y'all. Fool me once, shame on me. Or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. And now they saying, nope, nope. Now we feel like we can't trust you. And so we're going to make sure that we're going to finish the job on you now. That's what's going on in you brothers' world right now. See, that's where you can read like the prophets. You can read Hosea and Isaiah and Hosea, Nahum, and you can read it with understanding. That's what I'm going to do in my future videos. And it's really going to talk to you about the power of darkness, because I don't think we really have a good understanding of the depth of the evil that's coming on this, that I hope not, man, you know. But I think that we're going to appreciate being faithless. I really, you know, call me kooky, man, but I know a couple of things. Faithless are going to be vindicated. And who is they? The armies of Satan. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. Now, whenever you see, you should be able to conclude that when you see this type of language, it's referring to our perilous situation as faithless in a world that's filled with the ignorance, the lack of knowledge. You could conclude that the fire that comes down is something that purifies. The fire that comes down from the Creator, from God out of heaven, and it devours them. You can conclude that they have no ability to stand against the Creator and his principles. You can conclude that the opposition to come against, oh shoot, it gives me the option here to show you brothers' comments on my video. Wow, I didn't know that. Let me go to the chat, man. Let's Asenath, Keon, Nazarene, Creator Gang, Bronze Yogi. It's good to see all y'all, man. Prince Judah, the guitar player. It's good to see all y'all, man. It's good to see all y'all. It's good to see you, man. You know, we in a hell of a time, man. We are in one hell of a time. You know, I was talking to a brother the other day. I was talking to a brother who is able to go into the spiritual realm while he's in his body. Matter of fact, his birthday was yesterday, matter of fact, and he called me. And he's able, we got brethren in our nation. Do you know they're able to do that? You know? Brother Dave, man. Did his comment show up on the screen? I just clicked on this thing here. Somebody say something in the chat. Somebody say anything in the chat. Let me see if it'll show up on the screen. I just clicked this button here. Somebody type anything and see if it'll show up on the screen. You're supposed to be able to type something and it'll show up on the screen. Somebody type in. Oh, I can type something. Let me see. I would like that feature. You can type something and it'll show up on the screen. Let me see if it'll do it. Oh, wait a minute. Nazarene, he just no, it didn't do anything. Nope, it didn't. Dave type something. Nope. Shoot, man, that would have been nice. Y'all could type things and it show up on the screen. I hit the button. It says show comments on. So I must have did something wrong. Oh, well, it's cool. You know, I thought you would be able to type something and it'll show up on the screen. Oh, well, it's cool. Let's go back. So let's go to another scripture. Matter of fact, let's look at another scripture and then read it from the OAHSPE standpoint. Let's go. Let's find another one. Matter of fact, let me do something else. Let me see if I can do something else. Let me see. How about I'll read something from Radiance Anthology. How about that? Yeah. Let me read something real, kind of mix it up a little bit. Let me see if I can mix things up a little bit here. I got a long reading from Radiance Anthology that I'm gonna save it for another time. It is, oh man, it's going to make somebody scream. I forget the name. It's called Message of Ministry, but it's a long, long read, man. Here's something from Radiance Anthology. I could read that, kind of mix things up a little bit. Make this channel some variety, put some variety in this channel. Radiance Anthology. Here's something called Serenity. I am posed with the majestic will of the Creator. The ever-present will is cleansing me of mortal attachments and setting me free. All darkness of the past is entirely dissolved from my mind, and I dwell in peace of eternity. Hey, now see, my mind is running wild. My mind is running wild. Hey, Dave Long has no, I ain't gonna put you on the spot like that, brother. I'm gonna say I was saying something and I broke off. I talked to a brother who he goes into the spiritual like you, Dave. And he told me that it was revealed to him that Donald Trump, he has no moral bottom. He has no moral bottom. Now I'm saying that because we living at a time that he's in rulership. And it explains a lot of why what's going on is going on. That brother, he's able to go into the spiritual. And he said it was revealed to him that Donald Trump has no moral bottom. That means he's capable of doing anything. I say that because that's why we are in a very perilous time, man. We are in a very perilous time. Okay, now it says, my soul is wedded to the Creator. My devotion is to no one except as I see the I am in that immortal presence. I'm living in eternity for eternity, and the things of time do not affect or disturb me. It makes no difference to me what people think of me, for I'm centered in the love of the Almighty. Only what the Creator desires for me shall come to me. I am surrounded by that mighty protecting love, which dissolves from me all mortal propensities. No evil can come nigh my dwelling place, because I put my trust in the ever-present. All affections and desires of the past that were not consistent with truth are cast into the ocean of oblivion. Here's some verses here from the 6-volume set. And again, if there's somebody listening and you would like the 6-volume set, it's just a study aid to the OAHSPE. All you got to do is contact me. I'll send it to you. I'll consider it a pleasure. Now, here's an interesting thing here from 1 Corinthians. And it gives an OAHSPE understanding of it. First Corinthians. It gives this out. See, if you read this, check it out. Therefore, my beloved, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Now, again, this is from the New Testament. And now you can translate it to know that you can translate that it's the Creator talking, because spiritually, this principle is true. This is a true spiritual principle. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Creator. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Creator. I'm just saying Creator. According to OAHSPE, this verse is not directly quoted, referenced, or given an explicit interpretation in the text. OAHSPE does not mention 1 Corinthians 15:58. Steadfast, unmovable, abounding in the work of the Lord, labor is not in vain. Or this specific exhortation. The chapter on resurrection, meaning 1 Corinthians 15 as a whole, also receives no direct commentary, though OAHSPE extensively teaches about resurrection in its own terms. For instance, graded spiritual ascensions in heavens. First and second and third resurrections. Soul growth and liberation from lower Heta atmospheria to Ethereal realms. OAHSPE teachings, however, align closely with the verse's spirit through recurring emphasis on steadfast service, humility, and the enduring value of labor aligned with Jehovah, the Creator. When it says, be ye steadfast, unmovable, this calls for firmness and unwavering commitment amid trials of darkness. In OAHSPE, faithists, meaning true worshipers of Jehovah, are urged to remain steadfast in purity, non-resistance, clean living, vegetarianism, renunciation of low things, and attunement to higher light, unmoved by druge, which are lower evil spirit influences. False gods, lords, and atmospheria, materialism, war, or worldly temptations. Steadfastness means holding to Jehovah's order without compromise, even when the light seems dim or opposition arises. always abounding in the work of the Lord. The work of the Lord, or Jehovah's work, refers to selfless, abundant labor in light, raising little ones, children, orphans, communal harmony, service to others, spreading truth, building places of resurrection, harmonious communities like Shalem and OAHSPE. OAHSPE stresses abounding, overflowing, exceeding in good works as duty, not for personal merit or thanks, but as a natural response to Jehovah's love. Faithful are to labor diligently in fields of light, education, purity, peace, giving without expectation, mirroring the verses called to overflow in divine aligned effort. See, this is purifying fire right here. You know that we read about in Revelation? The fire that comes down and burns up our opposition. Why don't you try telling a steadfast Uzian this stuff? This is the purifying fire. The pure is because the knowledge of this stuff is so antithetical to what people have heard. You know what I mean? It's like pouring Clorox on a wound. Your labor is not in vain in the Lord. This assures that service to Jehovah has eternal value, and is never wasted. In OAHSPE, labor in the Lord, which meaning aligned with Jehovah, contributes to soul ascension, resurrection, rising from lower to higher heavens, and cosmic harmony, even if unrecognized or unappreciated in corporal life or by others. Now, you know this where we live, right? This is where we live. Such work bears fruit in spiritual growth, purification from Druge bondage, and ultimate Ethereal upliftment. Nothing done in the true light is vain, empty, or futile. It participates in Jehovah's unchanging plan, leading to enduring reward in higher realms. In OAHSPE's allegorical and spiritual spirit, this verse serves as an exhortation for Cosmic era, which is the current age of enlightenment, to stand firm in faith's principles amid transitional challenges, abound in selfless work for Jehovah, service, purity, harmony, trust that such labor advances resurrection and ascension. Never futile, as Jehovah's light ensures lasting purpose and provision. OAHSPE views New Testament exhortations like this as partial echoes of inspired truths from light cycles, often overlaid with lower influences, Savior-centric, merit-based ideas. The core reframes as steadfast, abundant service to the Creator is inherently meaningful. Your efforts in light endure and uplift, free from vanity. If it is free from vanity, I'm adding if it is free from vanity. If this connects to a particular faithist commentary, modern OAHSPE study, or related teaching, provide me context or closer look. That's something AI says to you when you use it. Okay. So I'm just trying to mix it up. You know, the title of the video is Bible Interpretation Through the Lens of the Creator. Now, these are just some verses that point to the OAHSPE, the 6-volume set, to give you an idea of what's inside of it, to tempt any brother or sister to contact me and let me send it to you. The situation, brethren, that's going on right now in the world, I can't say enough about. We do know that America is going to be very, very prominent in the light of the Creator. We all know that. The Creator said he's going to use Gautama. That's America. That's where we are. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It could mean that we are headed. I don't know what's ahead of us. It's very perilous where you can easily conclude that it seems before again, I'm saying this again to emphasize it, I already said it. We are in a situation where the world is tied to the beast kingdom. The world is tied to the principles of the beast kingdom. It's very hard to break that spirit, man. And sometimes it's very painful to break that spirit. That spirit is going to be broken. You, brethren, yourselves are witness of the power of the Creator to break the power of a false God. Because many of us came out of religion. And we stand against our family who can't understand what's going on. See, now you see why it says in the scriptures that Jesus' own family didn't understand him. They thought he was crazy. You see, the Creator is the only one to break. And, there is an account where in the Bible called the dead men of the Gadarenes. And now I'm mentioning this because I think the reason it's in there is to show us sometimes the violence in which somebody has to be broken from the bondage of a false god. Have you, brethren, ever read that account? The dead men of the Gadarenes? Have y'all ever read that? It said when he was delivered, there's an account. Now, as I think about it, there's an account where a deliverance, it took place with violence. It took place where the spirits were cast out. Now, I'm mentioning this because the light, the OAHSPE and the faithist and the truth that we are bringing, I have to say it again, man. I see it being nothing short of very painful to the world. Okay, I give you an example. You know what I'm going to say? What about when the world find out the Creator don't want you eating meat? That's probably a big thing right there. Well, how about that? How about what do you, brethren, think? How do you think that will be received? You know what I mean? You see what's ahead of us? That's something I remember, a couple people I remember one dude, I said, remember I told y'all I had just come into the OAHSPE? And there was this one dude, I used to go to the 7-Eleven, like on Saturday mornings when I lived in California. And this one dude this Christian used to set up a tent, and he had a big sign that said, "Let me pray for you." Him and his brother. And I went by, and one time I struck up a conversation with him, and I tried to introduce him to the OAHSPE, and he said, "Well, what's different about the OAHSPE than the Bible?" And I said, "Well, I just found out about it a couple months ago, but I learned that one of the things that the Creator don't want you doing is eating meat." And the dude, he immediately said, "Nope, that ain't for me." He said, I love meat eating too much." He said, "I'll never stop eating that." You know. And I shared that with somebody else and got just as equal a violent reaction. Now, I forget the details of, that's happened a couple of times, probably to you, brethren, too. You see? When the world catches on to having to fight the Satan within you, the Creator, to me, not eat meat, that's nothing really to me. The hard part, I think, is when you learn that you ain't here to serve yourself, man. You know, the creator, he tells you to fight the Satan within you. See, that's hitting a little too close to home, man. You telling me I got to do something? No, man. He paid it all, man. All to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain. He made it white as snow. So you go ahead and take that OAHSPE and get on up out of here, brother. You know, it's on his credit card. That means I can do anything I want, and it's all good. You know what I mean? How does growth occur? Be on the lookout for false growth. True, sustained growth doesn't happen overnight. We sometimes are surprised by what we perceive as radical shift occurring, meaning, now I testify that's true. We sometimes are surprised by what we perceive as radical shift occurring. I thought you could never break from Jesus Christ, man. I sometimes I sit up here and I say, I can't believe I'm saying some of the things I'm saying. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe I'm saying this, man. Calling Jesus Christ a deity, how I no longer believe that he even existed. Now the brother Whirlwind, he came in here and told me that there are two Jesuses in the New Testament. I didn't know that, you know. I can't believe I'm sitting up here saying this stuff sometimes, but it was a change that happened. The same for you, brethren, too, probably. Same for you, brethren, too. You see, that's what it says. We sometimes are surprised by what we perceive as a radical shift occurring. Old habits suddenly fly away, and we feel ready for new challenges. Yes, but the fitting challenge is really sustaining the new you. See, the new you, man, fighting the Satan within us. Man, that's a rough one, man, because I fly off. You know, I get an attitude. I get, and a funny thing happens to me now that I'm a faithist that has never happened to me before. Sometimes I get a vibration on me where it is pure evil, man. I mean, I can feel it. It's something I can feel, man, you know? It has never happened to me before. It's pure evil, man, you know? And you know what I attribute it to? You know what I attribute it to? Sometimes on my YouTube, they show you events of like boxing matches, famous boxers, because they feed you that in the world in order to keep you from the light. They show you like people beating the hell out of each other. You know, they show you like dogs fighting. You know, social media is famous for that. And I noticed that a spirit rises up in me. It was never been there before. And you have to fight that. You know what I mean? You have to fight it, man. And it feels so good to entertain that spirit. That's the problem right there. That's the problem right there, man. It feels good in a wicked way. You know what I mean? I can't explain it, man. You know? I'm just trying to say I'm in a struggle. I got a struggle going on. You know? I got a fight going on. You know? it seemed like the Creator, he delivered me from women, which I thought could never happen. No way that can happen. And he did it. But I attributed a lot of that to just as you get older. I read in the OAHSPE where that desire, it wanes. But I'm only in my mid 60s. You know what I mean? But I attribute that to somehow the Creator. He helped me, But now I got another situation coming on. You see? You ain't never free, man. You ain't free. It's always one thing or another. It's always, it's round 3 in, but now you got round 4. See? And so you don't look at TV no more. Okay. So what it does is it meet you somewhere else. The evil spirit come and find you somewhere else. Where is he at? Where? Oh, okay, he over there. All right, send that vibration over there. He over there. He's trying to run. Can you nurture? I'm reading the screen. Can you nurture new helpful habits into expression? Can you bring to pass what you think? You want to be selfless. You want to redeem the time. You like to do that. Can you put it into effect? Can you think of something to do? And to manifest that vibration on you. It takes just as much discipline to do something nurturing as it does to snuff out an old unwanted habit. It is not just a matter of filling a void. We must plan for good experiences to happen. We make choices, but do they reflect our new understanding? Have we remodeled the basic vision we have for ourselves? See, the Creator, man, one thing I learned about him, he brings he makes you change, man. You will change. This ain't Christianity. You will change. You must change, and you will change, man. You will change. You will change. You will change, man. You will save yourself. Change is far reaching, and we are as much in charge of it as we want to be. See, people are afraid of responsibility. People are afraid, man, of responsibility. Will somebody answer me a question, please? I'm begging you, brethren. Let me go to the chat, man. I pray that somebody will answer me. I mean, for real. Let me go to the chat. Fritz! Brother Fritz! 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 All right, Jamia, she just had a newborn. How's he doing, Jamia? How you doing? How your children doing? Nolan. His name is Nolan. Her newborn. Man, that's one thing I regret, man. That's one I have to admit. I never became a parent, I never became. Do you know I suffered lead poisoning in the military and it sterilized me when I was in my 20s? I suffered lead poisoning. Yeah. And me and my girlfriend, we could not make it happen for the life of us. That's one thing I regret, man. I regret, But I'm not complaining though, You don't know what the Creator got planned for you. Jamia says, we are well. Matter of fact, I can show. See, now I can't make the comments come up on the screen, man. You know, I hit that button and it should have let, there are some videos I've seen where people type stuff and it come up on the screen. You know, I don't know how to do that. All right, Nolan is doing great. Her son is 7 years old. Praise the Creator, man. Got another faith that's in the world. Brother Dwayne. Brother, good to see you, man. So let's look at some more Bible and translate it according to the OAHSPE. Let's have fun with this thing, man. This is fun. This is some serious fun, man. When you learn to look at the Bible and read it through the lens of the Creator, a whole new world opens up to you, man. And see, then you start bearing fruit. Your actions start changing. See, you leave the world. When something is fun, you don't need to be told, you know what I mean, to do it. See, oh, wow, what a trip, man. What a trip. I'm telling you, man, Revelation chapter 6. And I saw when the Lamb, see, now you brethren, see, y'all can read this. You can use your own. What I need to do is get a good Pisces up in here, because they have strength of imagination. We got a couple in the room. We got Jamia and Dave. See, that's how they can bless the world. They can use their imagination gift. They got the gift of imagination. Pisces. See, if I want to break it down analytically, I go and call a Virgo. See, if I want to break it down inspiration, I go and call an Aries. See, Aries would get on here and say, see, Aries is, Aries is a sign of war, right? They'll get on here and say, verse 1. And I heard as a word a sound of thunder. Thunder, brother. When I want to make it practical and easy to understand, I go and grab a Taurus. They got a way of speaking real plain, Then when I want to go and get 5 or 6 different approaches to what one verse is saying, I go and get a Gemini. See there? And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, come and see. Okay. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now, I didn't expect to break this down, but I bet y'all can, It seems to, when he talks about a white horse, you know what I mean? Most of these verses, one common denominator that I see is talking about either darkness or light being dissipated or shining, or darkness being dissolved, or the effects of darkness. Everything, those are the common denominators. And when I saw the Lamb, you could say, let's say, and when I saw the Faithess open one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, I heard the Creator, one of the 4 beasts. Now, the beast, I did learn that when you talk about the beast that it mentioned here is basically saying when you see, let's see, what did I learn? It's like when the beast are like, it's a different type of beast. It's like you can't say I can't say life says come and see, but that's what I'm trying to say. Life says come and see. That's what came to my understanding when I looked at the four beasts. It mentions a lamb, a calf, or whatever. It mentions all forms of life. Okay, and then it says, and I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and the crown was given unto him, and he went forth. Or you know what? Check this out. The spirit is saying, Yaiquab, Yaiquab. Why don't you ask AI what it means? See? So check it out. Let's have some fun, okay? How far y'all want to go? Okay, let's do verse 1 and 2. See? We can use AI. We can use AI. See? Let's see, check it out. See? Now you can imagine the fun that I have sitting up here. I just go delirious sometimes learning, and sometimes most times I'm up all night, because it's like a new toy. You know what I mean? It's like a toy. This new, what the creator is doing. For me, it is. And I want to share it with you. See? It's like a toy, man. When you learn, and I can't explain it. When you hit your stride, like my uncle used to say, he say, Yaiquat. Well, he called me Kurt, He said, Kurt, he said, just wait until you hit your stride. He said, wait until you hit your stride. Meaning, you might have it rough now, but just don't give up, Don't give up, man, Wait till you hit your stride. What does this verse mean according to the OAHSPE Bible? Okay. So I hope y'all can see the screen. I'm not looking at the chat. So I hope y'all can see this. Okay, now here's my question right here. All right. I hope y'all can. Now it says the verse you quote. Now, see, I'm asking, what does this mean according to the OAHSPE? Okay. Now the answer is given me. You see that? You see all that? That's the answer is given me. Now you brethren can do that with the whole Bible. You see there? Now, and you can make our walk fun. We can make this walk fun. If you get understanding, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Check it out. See? It says the verse you quoted is Revelation 6, chapter 1, verse 2, from the King James Version of the Christian Bible. Now I'm going to go down to okay, I got to read this. It says, OAHSPE is not a replacement or direct commentary on the Christian Bible in the style of verse-by-verse exegesis. Instead, it presents a vast cosmic history spanning tens of thousands of years, focusing on cycles of light and darkness, Dan and Danha, the role of angels and gods, which are advanced angel rulers who sometimes falsely claim divinity, meaning sometimes high-raised angels become gods. Some of them fall, some don't. The creator, Jehovah, the great spirit, distinct from localized gods like Luamong, who is portrayed as the false Christ, figure associated with militant Christianity and humanity's progress towards Cosmon, which is an age of universal knowledge and peace beginning in the 19th century. It reinterprets many biblical themes, figures, and events through this lens, often viewing traditional religious conquests as the work of lower order angels or self-exalting spirits rather than the pure will of Jehovah. Okay, now, here's the OAHSPE interpretation of Revelation chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. Okay? In mainstream Christian readings, which OAHSPE draws but reframes, meaning it changes, like we are changing the Bible and installing our own definitions in place of certain words. That's what metaphysically reading something is, metaphorically. We are reframing the Bible. Revelation 6, 1 and 2, this is the opening of the first of the 7 seals on the scroll held by the Lamb. You can say the Lamb are equal to Thetis. Here it says symbolizing Jesus Christ, who was worthy to open it because of his sacrifice, it says. Now, the Creator has counted you, brethren, worthy to open the OAHSPE. You, brethren, have been counted worthy, man. Now, okay, you say I sound kooky. Okay, all right, you don't have to receive it, you know. One of the 4 living creatures or beast in older translations, often seen as angelic beings. That's why I was trying to explain earlier, those beasts, they are counted as angelic beings. But that word is a bad word because beast is a negative connotation when people think of it. The beast in older translations often seen as angelic beings representing aspects of creation or the Gospels. Thunders come and see, summoning the vision. Okay. The white horse rider with a bow given a crown who went forth conquering and to conquer is commonly interpreted in several ways. Okay. The white horse interpreted as Christ or the spread of the gospel. Okay. White symbolizes purity, victory. The rider mirrors Jesus on a white horse. Okay, now what I want to do is skip all that. Here, if you want, read it, because I'm running out of time. I like to try to finish by 7:30. So y'all do me a favor, just read it. Okay. I want to go down to what the OAHSPE says. Okay. I want to read what the OAHSPE has to say. So just read it. What the Christian account, this is the Christian account, what I got highlighted. Now, I want to get to what the OAHSPE says about Revelation 6:2. Now, this is what the OAHSPE says, okay? Now, OAHSPE does not provide a direct gloss on these specific verses, but its teachings offer a reframing consistent with its cosmology. You know what it's saying? It's saying that it's going to translate it for you because the OAHSPE is the cosmology of the Christian Bible is consistent with the OAHSPE. Okay, all the OAHSPE is going to do is translate it for us in a faithist sense. Okay, now Revelation 6, 1 and 2, the Lamb and the seals. OAHSPE affirms a cosmic order, meaning you can find this in the OAHSPE. The same thing in the Bible, the same thing in the OAHSPE. The OAHSPE, it affirms or it testifies to a cosmic order with higher and lower heavens, where advanced beings, including those who once interacted with earth as gods, oversee periods of revelation and judgment. The Lamb figure in Christian terms aligns broadly. The lamb, okay, again, the lamb figure, all right, the lamb figure in Christian terms, it aligns broadly with enlightened deliverers, faiths, or Iesu, pure miracle working figures like Capelia, Janae, or Moses. The lamb, I'll read it again. The lamb figure in Christian terms aligns, that means it agrees broadly. It agrees, the lamb figure in Christian terms, it agrees broadly with enlightened deliverers or Iesu, pure miracle working figures like Capelia. See, these are the lawgivers of the OAHSPE. Capelia, Janae, or Moses in OAHSPE. But the text critiques how false gods, right? Luamong, who adopts the name Christ for a warrior cult. They hijack names like the Lamb. Luamong, he hijacks names like the Lamb and other Christian terminology. He hijacks it. He hijacks such symbols for conquest and denomination. Seals are locked destinies, appear in OAHSPE's cycles, periods when spiritual light is open or withheld. White horse, bow, crown, conquering. White often symbolizes purity or victory in OAHSPE's angelic processions and Etherian higher heavenly ships. However, the text is highly critical of militaristic conquering done in the name of religion, meaning the OAHSPE does not endorse any type of war, whether offense or defense. It does not endorse any type of conquering or possessing of, in the sense of conquering. In any form, the OAHSPE does not suffer it. What's a good word for allow it? What's a good word for endorse it? What's a good word for permit it? The OAHSPE does not in any way endorse the conquering, the taking, the overpowering of something or somebody else in no type of way. It portrays many historical empires and faiths, including aspects of Christianity. This is talking about the white horse. The definition of the white horse, the bow, and the crown. It portrays many historical empires and faiths, including aspects of Christianity, as driven by ambitious angels who build kingdoms through war, crowns, and forced conversion, rather than Jehovah's non-coercive love and wisdom. So, white horse, bow, crown, conquering, it portrays many historical empires. Okay, many historical empires and faiths, including aspects of Christianity, as driven by ambitious angels who build kingdoms through war. So these are unrighteous angels who go forth conquering and to conquer. Unrighteous angels who go forth rather than Jehovah's non-coercive love and wisdom. So the key phrase here is conquering. In Revelation 6, when it mentions that and it talks about other entities after that, they go for conquering. You know, it's not Jehovah's gods, lords, or angels or anything. You already know now, just that one word, we already know these are not, after what we read, it ain't talking about Jehovah's gods, lords, or angels. It says a rider conquering, and to conquer with the bow could parallel the deceptive or forceful spread of false doctrines, the rise of organized religions that blend truth with power seeking. OAHSPE emphasizes that true progress comes through faithism, direct connection to the Creator without intermediaries, demanding worship or armies, not conquest. Okay, now we get to the four beasts. Revelation chapter 6, the OAHSPE meaning of the four beasts. The four beasts, living creatures, and thunder. OAHSPE frequently describes four directional or elemental forces, angelic hosts, and cosmic signs, including thunder, lightning, as manifestations of higher powers. So when we read about these forces of nature, usually it's representing higher powers. The come and see invitation echoes calls in OAHSPE for mortals and angels to witness divine truths directly rather than through priests or idols, meaning we don't have to take somebody's word for when we read the OAHSPE, whether the witness of it is true. You should be able to, just by tapping into your own inner light, you should be able to tell a lot of things are true or false. Just by tapping into your own inner light, man, you know. But like the brother was saying, Deshaun, a lot of people, their conscience is seared with a hot iron to the point where you can't even tap. Now you can't even tap into your conscience. Your unseared, your conscience is seared. The world has layered you over with its principles, with its rules, with its laws, with its statutes, with its commandments, so that you don't even have a foundation of truth. You don't have no foundation for truth. You're just blowing in the wind, man. You know, everything and anything is true, and everything and anything is false to you. You got no foundation. It's a terrible thing, man. It's a terrible thing, man. In OAHSPE's broader narrative, such visions point to the transition from dark cycles dominated by warring gods and lords. So in broader narrative, meaning most of the places you see in the Bible is basically talking about transitions from dark cycles dominated by warring gods and lords. See, that's where we could turn to the Old Testament, and all we read about, man, is times of light, times of darkness, times of light, times of darkness. The faith is caught in between. They pulled one way, they pulled another way. Here come the Assyrians, and they went and, they laid the wood to the faithists over here. The faithists got up and ran over there, and then the what are some other names? The Philistines met them over in the valley of Sorek, and the faithists ran over here. They said, "Give us a king," and the faithists selected a king, and then the king put them in bondage and slavery. Here is saying that's basically all you see: the times of darkness and light for the faithists. The times of darkness and light, man, our history. In OAHSPE's broader narrative, such visions point to the transition from the dark cycles dominated by warring gods and lords to the cosmic era of enlightenment, where humanity outgrows organized conquests in the name of God, which is the creator. It should, you know what I mean? It should be creator, and embraces universal brotherhood under Jehovah alone, meaning we're going to get tired of it. That's why I think what's going on in the world today, we're going to get tired of this, man. Bombing children, that's a killer right there, man. Having to see that, man, just drives me nuts, man. That's why I don't like to even look at children. I do not like, especially girls. I don't like to, I remember one lady, I went to this one restaurant. I went to the oldest restaurant in America. It's right here in Tucson. The oldest Mexican restaurant in America is 5 minutes from me. It's called El Charro, right? It's the oldest Mexican restaurant in the United States, right? And I found out about it. I said, I bet you that's got some good food there, So I went down there. I was sitting down there. And the lady was playing with her daughter. She brought her daughter right up to me. She brought her daughter right up to me. You know, say hi to the nice man, you know. And in my heart, I just said, man, I said, please, no, I don't want to look at her. I don't want to see her in the face. And that little girl came right up to me, man, you know. She came right. I said, hey, Spanky, how you doing? You know, because, you know, I know how to turn it on. But I looked at her in the face, man, and it just killed me. And then we talked baby talk, me and the little girl, you know. And then she went back to her mom. And I said, lady, I said, I hate looking at, I said, whenever I see children, I turn away, man. She said, why? I said, the world we live in, the things that are done to them, I can't suffer it, man. I don't like that, you know. I said, I don't like the world they're growing up in. I do not like it, man. See? That's why the OAHSPE is the only hope. It's the only hope, man, because that's got to stop. This got to stop, man. I'm sorry. This bombing, 175 little girls' school, right, over in Iran, that's why they ain't going to quit. If I was in the beast kingdom, brother, if I was in the beast kingdom, all you got to do is take one of my family. Now, see, I got off why I went to the chat. I got off. It brings me back to what I wanted to ask the chat. Matter of fact, let me go back to the chat. I know I'm getting away from what I'm reading here, but now that I remember, let me go back. And let me put the link in the room too, because I want somebody to answer this one for me. I want somebody to say something. And I ain't closing this chat till somebody address me. I'm pulling rank. Now, you brother know I never pull rank. I'm pulling rank because somebody gonna answer me this question. I'm gonna make somebody answer me. Now, I'll be here all night, man, until somebody answer me this question I'm ready to ask. Because this happened to me a couple days ago. Now, a cancer, right? Now, you know, a cancer, I'll give you a little tip, man. Cancer is a sign of the father and mother, okay? Don't ever, even if you got a cancer woman and she's a mother and she's 80-something years old, right? If you had to bet on her or the whole Buffalo Bills in protecting her child, you know who would win, right? You know who would win. Let me give you a hint. It wouldn't be the Buffalo Bills. When it comes to their children, same with a father, man. You know, that's the sign of the father. You won't come near their children. I bet you that. You see what I mean? Now, my question is this. Now, I talked to a cancer woman the other day, and you know, we struck up a conversation, and she immediately started talking about her children, right? And this is the way the world is. A lot of them will say this. They'll say, if something happened to my son or daughter, I'll kill you, you know. And she wasn't talking to me. I think we got on the discussion of what's going on in the world, right? And you know how people like to say that. Now, I want somebody to answer me. Why are you so willing to kill for your children, but you're not willing to teach them eternal life? Why? Why won't you make that sacrifice? Why are you so zealous and passionate for your children? Why won't you teach them about eternal life? Why won't you do that? Why are you too tired to do that? Now, there go the link in the room right there, and I ain't budging until somebody better say something. Because I want to know, man. You know, I want to know. I want somebody to say something. Now I'm pulling rank today. I never do this. Somebody gonna say something. I'm gonna make some. I ain't budging, man. You know, I ain't budging until somebody click on the link. Let me see who in the chat here. Hey, my brother's here, man. He a Cancer. I should have forced him to get on the screen. He probably gone though. I should make him come up. He probably gone. That's all right. It's good to see him. I want somebody to come up, man, and answer that question. I'm pulling rank, man. I ain't going nowhere. Y'all gonna come on the internet tomorrow. I'm gonna still be here. The room is gonna be open, and I'm gonna be sitting here waiting. I'm gonna make somebody say something, man. So somebody better click on that link and come on here. How come people are willing to kill for their children, but not willing to teach them or learn about eternal life? Why? Why is that? I ain't budging, man. I ain't budging. You think I'm playing? Watch. Somebody better talk to me. I want that question answered. I want somebody to answer me. I want somebody to answer that question. Who's here, man? Come on. Somebody's got to answer that question, man. Why does and there are a lot of people in the world who they profess that type of love for their children. They profess it. You've heard it yourself. But when it comes to their eternity, right? Everyone will admit the temporariness of their children, that they are here for a short while. Why not benefit them for an eternity? Why? I'm not budging, man, until somebody get on here and answer that question. I ain't budging. I want somebody to answer that question, man. You know, I am not going to budge, man. You know, I'm not budging. If our in OAHSPE, broader narrative such visions point to the transition from dark cycles dominated by warring gods and lords to the cosmic era of enlightenment where humanity outgrows organized conquests in the name of God and embraces universal brotherhood under Jehovah alone. False Christs or conquering riders represent the lingering influence of lower atmospheric spirits who thrive on division and glory seeking. So that's Revelation 6, 1 and 2. The Lamb and the seals, they align with the Lamb representing advanced beings, including those who once interacted with earth as gods. The Lamb figure in Christian terms aligns broadly with enlightened deliverers. And that makes sense. That's a good analogy, I think. But it also is a hijacked term that Luamong uses, who adopts the name Christ. It says he hijacks such symbols for conquest and dominion. So context is the important thing. Okay, now let me see. Asenath, she is saying those who won't teach it don't have it themselves. Now that's pretty profound, actually. Yeah, you got to. Now that is the truth. You know what? That's pretty good. In order to teach your children spiritually, eternity, spiritual value. But you know what? See, my problem is that parents may not subscribe to something, you know? It doesn't mean that they don't know what's good. You know what I mean? You might not be spiritual yourself, but you can still teach your children that it's important to have a good open mind concerning these things. You know what I mean? I don't think that a parent wants to teach your children to be closed minded. You know, that should make sense. And you hear people, they are really quick to profess their love for their children and to talk about what they'll do to anyone who wants to bring any hurt to them. But what about when you leave your children unprotected and unprepared for eternity? You see what I mean? It don't make sense. So, okay, Asenath bailed everybody out and kept me from having to stay up day and night till somebody answered that question for me. I'll accept that. So thank you, Asenath. About time for me to close the video anyway. But I tell you, man, the principles that the Creator is giving us is to where we can look at the Bible. I can go, and I'm going to do this in my future videos. I'm going to just go all over the place. I'm going to just go all over the place, man, and read and translate to a faithist perspective. And hey, Asenath, that video was tight, man, where the dude showed two gods talking in Genesis. That was pretty good, man. Where in Genesis, you see the Creator talking and you see false gods talking. Did y'all know that? You could see it clearly with your own eyes, man. And still, that don't mean nothing to a hardened Christian. You can show them that, show them the contradiction. It don't mean nothing to them. Do you know that? That's where we live. Right there in Genesis, man. One God says, I've given you plants and fruits, and the other one says to eat the sacrifice meat, kill, offerings, lamb, kill it. That right there is enough to show you that we got a problem. Asenath, I'm looking at the chat, and Nazarene, brother Shank, want to know what is that video. Let me see. Asenath says, that's what I was saying to Cosmic Cow. Oh, okay, on your first video. I had too much going through my mind in order to decipher what was going on back then. I couldn't, I would have handled that situation differently, though. I know that now because it was kind of some friction there. I would have, I would have handled that. That type of friction between brethren will never happen as long as I'm alive again. I will never suffer that again. I handled that very poorly. Nazarene, Seeing Faithist, wants to know what video you're talking about. I think Asenath. He wanted to know what video you're talking about. Where the brother showed, the one you sent me, pushy push. Here, maybe I can find it. Right here on the video. The dude's name was Pushy Push. Let me see if I can find that video. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Asenath. You don't have to worry about it. Let me see if I can. It's a gift. I've been sitting up here in the dark, man. Didn't even turn my light on. See, he has a gift, man. People like this, you know, I bet you the creator start raising up these type of people. That was a pretty solid find what he found. And it was very easy to understand, showing a contradiction in the Bible. How the creator, he could speak and you not hear him. But you hear the false God. Let me try to find it. The creator, that little still small voice, and you might not even hear him. Pushy push. That was a good video, man. Very clearly showing you the creator. He can speak and you not even hear him. He can speak and you not even hear him. Where is it at? Okay, this is the brother's channel. I don't know if he's a faithist, though. That's the only thing. Hey, you're going to have to help me, hey, Snap. What was the name of the video? Oh, she got it. Yeah, she beat me to it, man. I told you Leo can make you mad, man. Yeah, okay. Is it showing on the screen? It's on. I pushed it. It's on the screen, right? Can you see it, brother Nazarene? Can you see it? The link? Is the link showing? Okay, you got it? All right. It should be on the screen too. Yeah. And the brother shows you clearly, man, the country. I mean, it shows you how people who have been in the Bible for years, man, and unless the creator, unless he opens your eyes to this type of understanding, there's no hope. He's got to reveal stuff like this, just like with what he's doing right now. So, brethren, that's the end of it. That's the end of the video for today. I got a lot more, man, but it's okay. I got, I'm going to make it a common feature to read from the Old Testament, the difficult language that we have never known, for future videos. Hopefully, I can make my channel a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun as we go back now and we begin to understand the things that nobody had understanding on before, the language that nobody would touch because they couldn't understand it. Now the creator in the cosmic era, he's telling us how to understand things. And then we can look at reality and then look here, man. My brother shows up right at the end. He's a Cancer. Good brother Maine, man. I don't know why. I got a soft spot in my heart for that brother. He said he must have said something to me. Brother, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. I think because you were Cancer, my flesh and blood brother is Cancer. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining in, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed it. So, brother, that brings us to the end. So let me make the offer that if any brother or sister, somebody hears this video and you want the 6-volume set, let me bring it up on the screen. If you want the 6-volume set of the OAHSPE, the work that was done by the unknown many, it's basically a supplement to the OAHSPE itself. If you want it, then all you got to do is contact me. And please, man, it's my pleasure. You Do you know that this work is going to cover the earth? That work that you see right there on the screen, and you know who said it? The Creator. The OAHSPE is going to cover the earth. Did you know that? The OAHSPE, our time is coming. Do you, brother, know our time is coming? That's why the earth, the world, the things that are going on, you, brother, should be encouraged, but not happy. Not happy, man. Because the Middle East right now, do you know, right at this very second, do you know, since that war started, Iran has been bombing Israel every day since March the 8th. They've been bombing them, and Israel has nuclear weapons. And I don't know if Netanyahu is dead or alive. Do you know that their government, the Knesset, is called the Knesset? The Israeli Knesset is equal to our House of Representatives. Check out how demonic that spirit is moving over there. That Druge spirit. Check out how evil is moving over there. They passed a law the other day saying it don't take nothing at all to sentence a Palestinian to death. The ones they have in custody. It's almost like they saying, hey, we getting bombed into oblivion, and we don't want them coming back at us, so we just going to kill them. Their government passed a resolution the other day that you could sentence them to death for basically nothing. The Knesset. You see these Druges, they are getting busy over there. These gods, these warring gods, Christianity and Mohammedanism, Gabriel, Thoth, they are getting busy over there. Pluto is now gone into Aquarius. That means that we have come into a time where something has got to give, brother. The kingdom, this sounds like childbirth to me. You know what I mean? The kingdom, it must come, and can't nothing stop it. Ultimately, it's for the good of man, but we in a time where it seemed like problems are coming. So, brethren, it's time to end the video. If you will allow me, I'll say a short prayer, and I'm gonna close the video again. If there's anybody would like have the 6-volume set, and if you need the OAHSPE too, I'll send that to you too. I'm not a rich brother, so don't take advantage of me, man. If you got a real need, I don't mind at all, man. I don't mind. Creator, he called us to that, and it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to serve, man. It's a pleasure to be with you, brethren, here on this channel every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. It is my pleasure, man, truly. And so, Jehovah, thank you that you have elected brethren. You have elected brethren to be able to hear this light, that it delivers us from religion, that you have blessed us. It's a blessing to know this truth. It's a blessing because not everybody is being called to the wedding. So thank you. And we have needs, I know, brethren who are sick, brethren who are financially strapped. We in a situation in this reality where there's pressure coming down on people. And so, Jehovah, I just ask that you strengthen us to continue being a light while we're on the red star. And in your name, we just give thanks for all things. So let it be. All right, brother, that's the best I can do for today. Thank you for joining me Tuesday and Friday. Creator willing, I'll be here. And thank you so much for joining me. And until I see you, brethren, again, peace be unto you. Shalom.